What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Gmia, and what we're going to be talking about is Week 16 in the National Football League, and it was very, very exciting because we got to see a lot of people get eliminated from playoff contention that, let's be honest, a lot of us didn't want to see them continue to keep on going on for the next couple of weeks trying to figure out the formula if they were going to make it or not. But we'll get to the Cowboys later. But first of all, we're going to start with two Saturday games that, for the most part, it was lackluster, the showcasing of it. Because we kind of, if you bet these games, you probably were right. If you bet the Ravens beating the Colts, you were probably a genius. And obviously, we know that the Packers put Aaron Rodgers on injured reserve, so it wasn't really a big game. But we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the playoff aspirations. Obviously, the Vikings, they have playoff hopes alive, and we're going to have to see what happens with that. I'm going to have to be honest about it. Going in as a wild card, do I think they can go to can they go to Gillette Stadium and win? I'm going to have to go ahead and say no. And I'm going to tell you why. I've been watching Joe Flacco throughout the year, and I've been watching him very, very, it's just, this dude is something about him. And like I said, before I go on about what I see about him, I'm very, very happy that this man was able to get paid because a lot of quarterbacks don't really get that chance to make that money. And he was able to do that. And we have to respect his playoff record. It's like, I'm trying to figure out, it's like trying to give Trent Dilfer credit for the Ravens winning a Super Bowl in 2000. Like, you want to say that you need a quarterback, but then it was all Ray Lewis in that defense with whoever was there. It was like the whole Suggs, Ray Lewis. It was a bunch of ridiculous animals there on that defense that made that happen. It's weird to try to give Joe Flacco credit about what's been going on because up until last week, they had like the lowest percentage of completing a deep pass, and he has so many fast receivers. So, do I think they could turn it around? Could they annoy Tom Brady? Like that little gnat that's on you. You outside at a barbecue, and it's like so many gnats and fly. Yeah, they could probably annoy Tom Brady, but I don't see them actually winning the game in the playoffs. I don't see that happening. Do I see? Maybe the first round, they getting past however it's matched up, them doing something, pulling off some kind of miracle, possible. It's possible, but I don't see much going on for them. If that makes any sense. I don't really, like, if you're a Ravens fan, you've already overachieved enough, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no, like, that whole thing when Ray Lewis came back for a second Super Bowl, dude had no tricep on, dude just went in and just did whatever there's no miracle run going on. Like, that's not going to happen. We just got to be honest about it. The Colts, disappointing season. We have to wait to see what's going to happen. Jacoby Brisket, you know what I'm saying, a.k.a. Brissett. Andrew Luck should be back next year. It may be a different Colt team. I think they're going to suck regardless. Vikings and the Packers. The Vikings already had locked up the NFC North, so this game was just like icing on the cake and just showed how bad the Packers are without Aaron Rodgers. Now, it's a lot of people that's saying, Mike McCarthy, his time's up there, all kinds of stuff like that. I don't think that you can blame him for a lot of the stuff that happened. In specific games, did he, can you blame? It's the coaching staff for the most part. Like, some of the things that happened throughout the season, whatever like that. But let's just be honest, man. The Vikings, Anthony Barr taking care of business and just doing a nice tackle. I don't believe it was a penalty involved in that that caused Aaron Rodgers to be out those weeks. It ruined the Packers season. So, I understand why the Cheeseheads would be mad at Vikings, mad at the Vikings and stuff like that and hate Anthony Barr. But it's a rivalry and things like that happen. And I don't think that he was intentionally trying to hurt him, regardless of what you may think as a fan. Eventually, you'll come down from being angry and you'll understand that that's just a part of football. The Lions and the Bengals, the Lions have officially been eliminated after this loss. I'm very, very happy to talk about the fact that Marvin Lewis will no longer be with the Bengals, and he's also been eliminated with the win. How ironic is that? That he won, but he really lost, though. See, that's the thing about it. You take advantage for so long of being a bum coach, and then you win, but you really lose. Like, this doesn't make any sense. But I have to be honest, several games that the Lions played earlier in the season, they kind of got cheated, but everybody gets cheated. Like, the Jets got cheated a lot. They got cheated with the Patriots. Yesterday, the Bills got cheated with that touchdown to Kelvin Benjamin. We're going to get to that in a second, but sometimes things don't go your way, and you got to find ways to come out on top. And the Lions just couldn't perform when it was necessary, man. I don't really know exactly where they go from here. as far as the Lions go, but I do see that Matthew Stafford was able to do stuff that people thought that he wouldn't be able to do without Calvin Johnson. And I'm very, it's good to see that. It's good to see that he's not what everybody thought he was. He's not a Dante Culpepper. He didn't need Randy Moss and Chris Carter. He was able to still do stuff with Golden Tate. And going from Calvin Johnson to Golden Tate, that's very, very substantial. So I give the Lions a lot of credit for being able to fight through it and handle their business, but playoff aspirations are over, and we got to move forward. The Dolphins and the Chiefs, this game could have been a lot worse. Jay Cutler, I think is he done? I want to know, honestly. Leave it in the comments. Is this man done? Because he just really needs to be. He just really needs to go sit down, maybe go in the booth, not even the booth for Fox, because he had that job to do that, and he came back for the $10 million because his wife recommended it. Like, I've never heard an athlete say, yeah, I'm coming back because of my wife. This guy just needs to go away and just never come back. And it's very, very difficult, again, to talk about it because he had so much potential in the league. I don't know what it is, man. Sometimes people don't take advantage of what they have. Looking at the Chiefs, Alex Smith, I think he topped being the most accurate quarterback in the National Football League coming into yesterday, and we know that they struggled throughout. Now, if they're somehow or some way able to play the way that they've been playing for the last couple of games, and they run into a Patriots team or a Steelers team or whatever kind of team, you can't tell me that the Chiefs might not win it. Now, Andy Reid being a guy that comes out and likes to lose in the playoffs, that might be the only Achilles heel that they have. That makes me a little bit nervous, to be honest with you. Andy Reid is not the kind of coach that I want in the playoffs. He's just not. So we have to see how that happens. Bills and the Patriots. Now, speaking of Kelvin Benjamin getting cheated, I thought that it was clear that he caught that ball in the end zone to go up, before the half. They had to take a field goal, so pretty much go into a tied. The Patriots, Tom Brady threw a pick. How many consecutive games now? He hasn't done that for like the last 12 years. Some kind of ridiculous stat. Doesn't really matter. Do you see the scoreboard? And I want to say this. That Gronk catch, to me, look, OBJ had a really, really good catch that changed his whole career. But Gronk is very, very underrated when it comes to these type of spectacular catches. And he's been doing it forever. And he's so big and he's so agile. And I just really think that it's not enough attention paid to the other big men like the Kelseys and stuff like that when it comes to those one-handed spectacular things. Because that catch was ridiculous. Because he wasn't supposed to be able to do that. So, just thinking about the fact that OBJ has been injury prone. He's been in Florida when playoffs are going on. He's just been doing a whole bunch of ridiculousness. I'm going to have to go out here and just say it, man. Gronk is greater than OBJ in value and everything right now at the position. He's dominant. Even though he's also injury prone, I don't think he would have been in Florida before a playoff game. Looking at the Browns and the Bears went out there. Trubisky did whatever he wanted to do, and the Browns won. No, they didn't win a game. They won the number 1 pick. Hugh Jackson has to be, that dude right there. Look, I understand that the team is trash. That's not what the issue is about. The issue is about this dude, Hugh Jackson. I give him a lot of credit. I give him a lot of credit because his face is always the same no matter what. It's like that disappointed dad that knows that, his kid is going to go out there and lose at whatever sport they're at, and they just always have that same face on. I just really hate the guy. But I don't really hate him, like, realistically. I just hate his aura, his persona, what we see on the sideline, because it's like he welcomes losing. And I can't really explain it. His face just displays a man that doesn't care if he wins or loses. And it's kind of weird to me. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But the Browns got the number 1 pick. They're on the clock right now. They're probably going to screw that up again. And it's going to be, the same scenario that's been going on with the Browns forever since they've been in existence, man. If Jim Brown was in there, it was just, we wouldn't even be talking about that. They probably would have got them out of the league by now. The Buccaneers and the Panthers. This right here, I'm going to say something about this, right, with Jameis Winston. That fumble, I don't know if he really had it. He really thought he did have it, and he tried to act like he wanted to run out on the field and made a scene with his emotions and stuff like that. And I will say this about that whole situation, though. The team really rallied around him, regardless of, his fake trying to run out on the field, all that other stuff. They care about this young kid. You know what I'm saying? They care about him. And the coach is more than likely going to be fired. The head coach, he'll more than likely be fired. But Jameis Winston's going to have to work on a lot of things, and his turnovers is going to be the main thing. Congratulations to the Carolina Panthers. You guys clinched a playoff berth. Looks like we're going to have a lot of NFC South teams in the playoffs, but I just really wanted to talk about that because some people were very, very upset about the anger, but he really wanted to hurt the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Like they're in the same division. He didn't want them to win it and know that they go to the playoffs, and they're not. So I just want to say that about that. And I didn't really see anything negative about his energy. He didn't do anything crazy. It's typical stuff. Your emotions are going to run high. The playoffs are on the line and stuff like that. I have to really say that I really appreciated the fact that he cares, but I would much rather see that veracity on the field and it result in wins and not fumbles and interceptions. Because let's be honest, if the ball isn't fumbled, he wouldn't have to be jumping on it and doing all other stuff in the first place. So, you know, it could go either way. Now, the way Cam Newton was able to go up in this game was ridiculous because he fumbled the ball, got on it, and ran into it was meant for them to win. Sometimes it just goes your way, and there's no explanation for it, and the Panthers are simply supposed to win that game. That's pretty much all it is. It's nothing else that we can really explain about it, because if I was supposed to tell you that that's what was dialed up, you would say to yourself, what? You wouldn't know how to really explain how that scenario went to pass, but it did. And we have to go ahead and congratulate them. Let's see what they do in the playoffs. Again, that's not a team that, unless they start running the read options similar to the way that Kaepernick was doing it back with the 49ers, you know, when they had Jim Harbaugh and all that stuff, and they start doing that zone read heavy and the defense plays well, I don't give the Panthers a chance to make it out of the NFC. Falcons and the Saints. Congratulations to the Saints. They're going to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan, a.k.a. Matty Dry Ice, I've been trying to tell you guys about him for a while, and nobody wants to listen to me. Well, some people have been listening to me. I've had some Falcon fans confess that he is, in fact, a mediocre QB. That's all I'm asking for you guys to admit. You need to do certain things to be considered elite. He's not an elite quarterback in this league. People want me to name quarterbacks and stuff like that. I don't need to name any quarterbacks. When you say elite, it doesn't matter how bad everybody else is. You're talking specifically about elite traits, and he doesn't have any. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude just does whatever he needs to do to lose games. That's what he does. Drew Brees, that interception with Marshawn Lattimore using his butt cheeks, epic. Great game overall. Saints, they look like they're ready to go. They should probably rest up next week. I don't expect a lot of them to play, including Alvin Kamara. I think that they should just rest up a little bit and get ready. The Falcons still do have a chance to make the playoffs, I believe, if they win next week. We'll see what happens with that. But as far as this whole scenario goes, congratulations to the Saints. You guys deserve it, man. It was a good job. Look, when I predicted that Adrian Peterson would be released because of the death stare and all that stuff he did with Sean Payton, I knew that getting rid of him would have resulted in better play. And I was right. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I told you guys they would play a lot better without Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson is what he is. He's an old man that's going crazy that I don't know exactly why he's doing the things that he's doing, but I highly doubt that he'll be on a roster come 2018 because he's shown that he does have sparks, but he's useless for the long haul. He's done. Broncos and the Redskins. The funniest part about this game, okay, early on, right? Kirk Cousins was throwing picks. He's doing whatever he does. He makes it very difficult for somebody to argue why the Redskins should have signed him long term. Even though he can make passes, he chooses to make the wrong decisions in a lot of different cases where it's just not necessary. Let's just call it how we see it. It's just not necessary for a lot of the things that this man does, and he still does it. But somehow, some way, if he's able to fight back out of the hole that he dug the team into, he looks spectacular. No, he is a decent quarterback. I don't think he's elite. Now, the Broncos. Brock Osweiler had a scene on the sideline where he was going trying to do a motivational speech, and it was so sad. It wasn't even funny, guys. I want you guys to like the video and comment if you saw this. He was raging on the sideline, and nobody paid attention to him. Nobody even looked. He's like, like, if people are doing if Tom Brady goes over there on the sideline, even when Peyton Manning used to do it, Brett Favre, whoever, like even if Dak Prescott did it, and he sucks, but people look up and they act like they're even, like they're listening, even if they're not. They didn't even fake it for this guy, Brock Osweiler, bro. He's an embarrassment to that organization. He should be released right now on Christmas Day while this podcast is being released. That guy is terrible. He is terrible. And that's pretty much what the Broncos were. Terrible. They sucked. It was a horrible display of football, and it is what it is, man. They came out there. They've been an embarrassment, and it starts with the QB. I think they gave one to the team a long time ago. We'll see what happens in the future, but that's the one part about the game I wanted to talk about. The Rams and the Titans. This was a hard-fought game. Mariota did some things that were special throughout coming down the stretch, but he also did things that weren't as special early on in the game that helped to get them into a situation where they couldn't overcome. Todd Gurley III, bro, I don't know. How fast is that guy? He ran right past dudes that were ahead of him, and it looked like, I don't even know. The Rams look like they're ready for the playoffs, though. Congratulations to those guys, man. The Titans, I think they still have a chance. I got to look at the formula and cross my X and dot my Y with the equal sign, with the algebra. We'll figure out what's going on with that. If you guys have any info on that, feel free to leave it in the comment section. The Titans have a lot to think about if they make the playoffs, and after they lose in the playoffs. Like, we're not worried about them doing anything in the playoffs, even if they do go. Like, I'm not sure. It was so many things I was trying to calculate yesterday, and it was Christmas Eve and so many things happening. So I didn't get to really get the gist of everything. I just watched the games, and when the games were over, I had to do family time. So we have to wait. I have to wait to figure out exactly what's going on with that. But either way, the Titans are not doing anything, so doesn't matter. Good luck to the Rams, though. Chargers and the Jets, hard-fought game. The Jets, the one thing the Jets have done this season is go out there and get beat down, but act like they're fighting, and it's been beautiful. It was good to see the Chargers pull this win out after getting blown out by the Chiefs, but all in all, we'll see what happens come next week for them and any kind of playoff hopes that they have that are alive. The Jets, we already know that. I don't know why they showed up. Jaguars and the 49ers. Jimmy Garropolo has already made people start thinking that the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl in 2018. And I can understand. This man shredded the #1 defense. Not only did he go down the field and score immediately in a red zone defense that's #1, he continued to do whatever he wanted the entire game. How do you put up 44 points on the team? And I understand Blake Bortles was throwing picks. Blake Bortles is a terrible quarterback. I don't care about his December record and, he's been on fire. Blake Bortles is Blake Bortles. When you say his name, like, all right, he garbage. Like, when you say his name with the board, like you say Bortles, like when you say the last name, this man cannot be a good quarterback. His name is Bortles. Like, can you imagine if Jimmy G went to the Jaguars? No, we don't want to talk about that. Let me not get the Jaguar fans excited, because the Patriots could have did a lot of stuff, and they sent it to the San Francisco 49ers, and now it's just ridiculous. And on top of that, isn't it weird that if people didn't get injured, they didn't want to play Jimmy G? They wanted to wait till next year? These coaches are so dumb. But let's just talk about the fact that that was a #1 defense that everyone was raving about. And Jimmy Garoppolo went in there and just demolished it. He demolished it. It was a joke. They went out there and got destroyed by the 49ers. And you know what makes this even more special? The 49ers defense hasn't really been playing well. But because of the offense, the defense has been feeding off of it. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys about when I speak about Kirk Cousins and like the Denver Broncos in those similar situations. The only difference between Kirk Cousins and Brock Osweiler, the defense is a little bit better, and Kirk Cousins is a little bit like smarter. But they both throw picks, they both do the same foolishness, and they both got to stop with all the turnovers. Jimmy G is just the real deal, man. Seahawks and the Cowboys. It was good to finally get everything laid to rest. All the stuff about Ezekiel Elliott's going to have 200 yards, all kind of stupidness that they were talking about. It's all over now. A lot of trash talk. Very, very good game. It was good to see Dez Bryant be a bum, and he just accepts it. I don't know if they're going to have him on the roster next year. I just don't know why you would keep him. It doesn't make sense to keep him. The guy's been washed up for a very, very long time. I think he's a great guy, probably off the field or whatever like that. I think he's matured. I think a lot of things have helped him to become a better person. He's a horrible wide receiver right now. His one route is go deep. You can't, bro. Your one route can't be go deep and push the guy out the way and catch the ball, but then you can't catch no more. Like it's a joke. It's an outright joke. The O-line hasn't been playing well. Tyron Smith came back. He had back injuries, knee injuries. It was, Dak Prescott is an average quarterback. Yeah, I said it, average quarterback. You had Sean Lee. You know what I'm saying? Sean Lee. He was also there, even though he was supposed to be delivering Christmas gifts. Like, people think that this guy is Santa Claus and everything. Sean Lee is he's good for that team, but he's not like better than Luke Kuechly. He's not better than the dude from the actual Seahawks, Bobby Wagner. This dude is not better than those guys. I don't know what people are thinking. He's good for that defense, and that's it. Like, stop. I had to sit here listening to people telling me about how good he is. I'm like, bro, if he's that good, what is he, bro? All he's been doing is getting L's. Like, you're not good like that. It ain't like he's a Ray Lewis, man. They need to stop. But finally, we can say the Cowboys are eliminated. No matter what kind of scenario, I don't think there's anything they could do. We could do goodwill hunting, like all kind of stuff, solve the mathematical formulas. They are done. And I'm just, I'm satisfied that I don't have to hear about it anymore. Not that I care if they win or lose. Just like it's enough. Enough is enough. The Giants went out there and did what they're supposed to do. Eli Manning is a terrible quarterback. I don't care what anybody wants to say. Look, the guy, people didn't even know what to say when they were commentating. They were like, this guy's been playing all this time and throwing picks like that. They didn't even know how to say it, bro. And then guys want to argue with me, oh, he got 2 Super Bowls. Yes. I don't know what he did to do that. He had to have sold his soul to the devil. This dude is trash. Look, man, right now he's garbage. He had good years, but this dude right now, man, I don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't care, bro. Like, this dude is just terrible. They benched him, ruined his streak, all that stuff like that. That was bad. I don't think that was professional, but I can understand why they did it because he has not been playing well. The Cardinals also suck, and that's besides the point. Congratulations, Larry Fitzgerald. You're just out there mad old doing whatever you want, and I wish you guys the best. All in all, that was Week 16. We have one more week before the playoffs. Will you join me? Go ahead and like the video, share it, and I'll see you next week. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy the family. One love.